My name is Desika Mani. People like to call me Mani. So I'm a trained metallurgist who worked with materials for a good about 11 years and realized that men and material don't behave differently. So that sparked off an interesting journey into understanding how we can apply the way materials are made to change their properties and become differently useful in a very specific, precise way that metallurgists and engineers do. How can we bring that understanding to transforming people? That was my journey for the last roughly 2 decades. And the result is a new methodology called result oriented learning engineering. To set the context, if you look at the way training is done, be it in schools and colleges or largely in corporates, it is done quite like prayer. You do it and hope something happens. This comes from a very fundamental and flawed assumption that learning is equal to knowing, or in other words, learning is completely cognitive. Now, there can be nothing which is farther from the truth. Now, for people to be able to behave differently, it does not just mean knowing things, but also getting their body comfortable with the new behavior. It means you have to work around multiple things. Knowledge is merely one small component. Beyond knowledge, there is an element of dealing with cognitive dissonance, which is how your brain is famous for resisting any change that your body has to undergo. Second, through a very structured way of creating environments, you can ensure that people habituate to new behaviors and therefore benefit from it. Whether you are an operational leader, or you are a learning and development specialist, or you are a HR professional. In all the three cases, you have very limited tools at your disposal to achieve results. Strategy, processes are things that you cannot easily change. But if you make an attempt, you can transform, modify your people's behavior by paying attention to what kind of environments and experiences that you create. Now, over the last 2 decades, I have worked around combining the disciplines of neuroscience, which is studying how your brain works and what's the connection between processes happening in the brain and your outward behavior. Psychology, which has been a much older science of looking at the statistics behind behaviors and finding hypotheses, validating them, finding patterns, in the way people behave. The third is engineering. Have you ever wondered if a car dealer that you go and buy your car from tells you that we have done our best, but we hope this car works for you? Will you ever buy the car? No. That's the beauty with engineering. It works with an outcome or a result or a customer experience in mind, and go backwards to design equipment and design the way that equipment works to create that experience. And the fourth is a fledgling new area in economics called behavioral economics. Why do people behave crazily in the last mile? Often quite illogically, trying to understand why that happens. So combining these four disciplines, I have created this methodology to look at what are the targeted business outcomes that you want, and therefore identify whose behavior, if changed, can produce those outcomes. Therefore, work backwards. Now, I have created now a 1-year certification program in result-oriented learning engineering. I'm going to run that. So if you're very keen in knowing how to design and deliver, you can apply. You can apply for joining this program. We're going to take the first 16 people who we think are best suited. You can apply for the program. There is a link available in this video, as well as in the Mentor website, or you can write to info@mentor.in. The course is starting in July. It'll run on till June of next year. I'm going to use classrooms, I'm going to use webinars, I'm going to give a bunch of live projects that you can do, get critiqued, and have hands-on experience in creating learning experiences, which can cut across physical, self-navigated, e-learns, simulations, okay, a bunch of all of that. So I'm looking forward to working with you. I hope you find it interesting and apply for the program. To apply for the program, you must be at least 10 years of work experience. You must have at least 10 years of work experience. Ideally, you must be a HR or a L&D professional. Some operations professionals who are sales professionals who are very keen on looking at instruction design are most welcome. See you there.